After clocking over 20 hours in the Battlefield 6 beta, I've got to say, I've genuinely had a blast. It's been a lot of fun, and I've really enjoyed diving into the gameplay, the maps, and all the chaos that comes with it. That said, it's not without its flaws. There's definitely plenty that could be improved, and I wanted to break down my full impressions for anyone curious about what this beta really feels like. If you enjoy this video, stick around if you want more gaming thoughts, reviews and gameplay. I'll be sharing my experiences with the games I'm playing now and the ones I'm excited for in the future. So why not subscribe? Before we get into the gameplay, let's talk about the first thing you're greeted with when you boot up the beta, which is the menu and UI. And honestly, it's not great. Navigating through the menus feels clunky, and I struggle just to find basic settings like ADS sensitivity. It honestly just makes me feel like they just took cues from Call of Duty, and not in a good way. While that might make things familiar for some players, for long-time Battlefield fans it feels off-brand. The presentation just lacks that classic Battlefield polish we've come to expect, and it just feels badly designed and confusing to navigate. This is an area that desperately needs improvement before the final release. Moving on to the maps, this is where the game starts to feel a bit cramped. Honestly, this is where most of my issues come in. It feels like they took some more cues from COD with the design. There's narrow lanes, constant meat grinder hotspots, and very few alternative routes to keep things interesting. For a 64-player match, some of these maps feel surprisingly confined. Take the Siege of Cairo map for example. There are so many open windows where players just sit and camp. It funnels combat into predictable choke points instead of encouraging the wide dynamic battles Battlefield used to excel at. The map boundaries also feel odd in places. Some aren't even near the edges, which really breaks immersion. In the final release, I really hope we see more variation in map size and layout to give players options for tactical gameplay rather than forcing them into constant face-to-face firefights. And speaking of gameplay, this is another area which feels like Battlefield is trying to move closer to Call of Duty. The flow, movement, and even the pacing seem designed to keep players moving constantly, which is different from the tactical spacing and slower momentum of older Battlefield games. The game doesn't exactly feel wrong. I mean, it's fun, but it does lack a bit of the depth and soul that defined previous titles. It feels polished in some ways, yet soulless and a bit unpolished in others, like there's something missing beneath the surface. There's also some frustrating balance issues in the beta. Certain weapons, like the shotgun, feel incredibly overpowered, performing well even at medium range. Meanwhile, some of the design choices feel unnecessarily hand-holdy for new players. The enemy indicator dot above opponents is a prime example. It makes spotting enemies trivial but ruins immersion. Battlefield has always been about identifying threats through your own skill and observation, not relying on glowing markers. It's a feature that feels like it belongs in a generic AAA shooter of 2025, not a flagship series with the tactical complexity Battlefield is known for. Other small details take away from immersion too. There's no controller vibration when shooting, which might seem minor but actually makes gunplay feel less tactile. Also, the time to kill feels a bit fast, which can make firefights feel unforgiving, especially when paired with the enemy indicator. You can go down pretty fast. Slowing it down slightly would give players more room to react and counter opponents, which will keep battles tense without feeling unfair. It's not terrible though, it just needs a slight improvement before the final release. The gunplay and recoil feel satisfying though, especially with attachments that genuinely improve gun control. Each weapon has a weight and punch to it, and landing shots feels rewarding. Movement is solid too, responsive, realistic, and it's fun to roll from heights to break your fall. Hipfire is strong, which complements the closer quarter maps better than previous Battlefield games. In a way, it gives the combat a bit of an Apex Legends vibe, where quick reflexes and movement can turn the tide of a fight. Sound design is another strong point. The audio in Battlefield 6 is incredible. Guns feel powerful, explosions hit hard, and environmental sounds are detailed enough to help you pinpoint threats. When you have the sound cranked up and jets are flying overhead, it can genuinely give you goosebumps. It's honestly excellent and seriously incredible. The graphics are quite good, and the beta generally runs well, paired with the destruction mechanics, which genuinely affect the environment in fun and interesting ways. The game nails that satisfying chaos Battlefield is known for, Blowing up walls, taking out cover, and watching the map change in real time adds depth that's often missing in shooters trying to mimic this style. It's just a shame we don't have the Levolution feature that was present in Battlefield 4, which was groundbreaking at the time a decade ago, and it honestly could have been stunning to witness with modern technology in Battlefield 6. It's a missed opportunity if you ask me. The grenades unfortunately don't feel very satisfying in this beta. The throw animations feel a little clunky, and the detonation indicator is almost useless. During chaotic firefights, it's hard to tell where grenades are actually landing, and they also just don't pack the punch you'd hope for, which makes them feel more like a background annoyance than a tactical tool. Overall, after putting in a solid 20 hours or so, I have to be honest about how I feel. I had a lot of fun playing it, but while Battlefield 6 feels like a step in the right direction, it's ultimately a safe one. It's not quite the leap forward we might have hoped for, which for me is a bold, next-generation reinvention. The game feels like a bridge between the classic Battlefield formula and modernised Call of Duty gameplay, trying to appeal to both audiences. It's better than Battlefield 2042 certainly, but it still doesn't surpass the likes of Battlefield 4 for me. That game had personality, scope, and a sense of grand scale that's hard to match. Right now, Battlefield 6 feels like it's trying to modernise without losing mass appeal, but in doing so, it sacrifices a bit of the soul that made the series legendary. I do hope future Battlefield entries take the next step. Bigger maps, more vehicles, larger lobbies, and deeper mechanics. This beta shows that the developers are steering the franchise in the right direction, but it's a safe step, rather than a groundbreaking leap. The potential is there, but the execution is just cautiously measured. So to sum up, the beta of Battlefield 6 is a mixed bag. It's fun, polished in spots, and responsive, with satisfying gunplay, excellent sound design, and destructible environments that make battles feel alive. But it also struggles with map design, weapon balance, and immersion-breaking features like enemy indicators. The gameplay leans a bit too heavily into Call of Duty territory, losing some of the depth and soul that long-time fans crave. It's better than 2042, yes, but it's more of an evolution rather than a revolution, a cautious modernisation rather than a bold step into the future of the series. If you're a new player or someone looking for fast, fluid shooter action, you'll enjoy this beta, but for veterans craving the chaos, scale, and tactical variety that defined older Battlefield games, it feels like a promising start rather than a fully realised next-gen experience. Here's hoping the full release and the future of the franchise delivers on the potential we know Battlefield can achieve. So that's my full take on the Battlefield 6 beta. There's a lot of fun to be had, but at times it feels a bit too close to COD for my taste. It's a step in the right direction, but there's definitely room for improvement. And I'm also curious to see how things evolve as the game heads toward the full release. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe and drop your thoughts on the beta in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.